Hello, good morning, and welcome to all, and welcome to Articulate, wherein we'll be discussing about the right approach, the right strategy towards realizing our dream of becoming a civil servant. It is so important now, more than ever, that the students from liberal arts, from history, from political science, and social work get into the services and do something impactful and meaningful. So, while sharing information about the event, I had shared with you all that the guest for today is Shri P. Narhari IAS. From the 2001 batch, Sir is currently the MD of MP State Cooperative Marketing Federation to the Government of Madhya Pradesh. Now, I thank Sir for providing us with his precious time, and he might be an inspiration to many of us, but has always been a greater inspiration to me. And especially, sir, your policies related to making Indore the cleanest city of the country and other policies for the specially able citizens. So, people who know me will know it better that many a times we've been asked to play a video or talk about our idol. It has always been you, sir. In the times when we were talking about development with sustainability, innovative practices, finding common ground, and about having inclusive growth, it is important that we realize that one of the most important and prestigious ways of serving the nation is by becoming a civil servant and serving to the multitude.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. It's good to see a lot of students, aspirants of the Amity University, Lucknow, to be participating in this event. I really don't know how to actually structure this thing, but I have my own way of doing things. So I have a small presentation to make, and then subsequently I would like to take questions and then try to answer. See, basically, my way of actually doing things is I would like to talk about leadership. Ultimately, it's all about leadership that matters when it comes to achieving our goals in our lives. So I feel I'll try to give some of the important things pertaining to personality development, leadership development, what actually one needs to acquire, what kind of skills one need to acquire before we actually reach and we actually try to get to our desired goals. So what I'm trying to tell is actually to get to our desired results, what kind of traits we need to actually possess, what exactly we should try to develop in order to, before we actually go on to write a competitive exam and reach up to that, what kind of qualities we actually need to imbibe and make it a part of our personality. So that we are ready for the market and especially a very competitive exam like civil services. We're absolutely ready and we should be picked up by UPSC before we reach there, when we reach there actually. So the most important thing that I always talk about is managing one's own personality. So there are, if you see in this particular picture, there are three circles in this. The outer one is the physical personality. So what I say is when we actually want to achieve a particular, reach to a particular goal, the most important thing that we all need to have is a physical personality, a well-rounded personality, a personality which appeals, which suits to the requirements of that particular profession. So a physical personality, once you acquire the physical personality, then you move towards that professional personality that one needs to actually have. If I put this in a very simple terms, what I always say is that somebody competing for, say, 100 meters a running race and somebody competing for a weightlifting kind of profession. These are two kinds of sports. If I try to compare, one who is actually wanting to actually clear 100 meters race in say less than 10 seconds need to have a different kind of physical personality than one who is actually wanting to lift weights. So the kind of personality both these guides need to have is absolutely different, and the kind of approach one actually needs to do in order to acquire that physical traits is also different. So if you are actually wanting to get into civil services, the kind of physical personality that you need to acquire is very, very important. Or let's say if you want to get into MBA or teaching field or any other profession. acquiring a physical and pleasing personality. Pleasing personality is very, very important when you actually wanting to get into get through a competitive exam like civil services. And apart from that, a professional personality is the second inner kind of personality that I would like to talk about is the kind of language, the kind of content, the kind of knowledge base that you need to acquire in order to reach to that profession. You need to actually put in lot of efforts. You need to toil hours together in order to acquire those skills to reach to that profession. The third important thing, and that is the ultimate thing that we all as humans need to achieve, is a spiritual personality. A personality which is always open hearted, which is broad chested, a personality which wherein you always want to do something for the society, or a service oriented personality. That's what I would say. And ultimate goal is all about acquiring that spiritual personality. So that's what we say. Vidya tadatu vinayam, vinayat yat patratvam, patratva dhanamapnoti, dhanat dharmam tata sukham. So this sloka very clearly mentions why we acquire education. What is the ultimate goal of education? Is to acquire vidya tadatu vinayam, vinayat yat patratvam. Patratvam is character, personality, a suitable character, personality, wherein you will be able to earn something, and subsequently when you actually contribute to the society through your earnings, you acquire sukham, that is the ultimate happiness. So one needs to concentrate more on one's own personality before you reach to the market demands. So today our job is to ensure, are we really shaped ourselves to acquire a particular kind of personality which is much needed for the kind of goals that we are setting for ourselves. If somebody is really not working on one's own personality, and then you actually find that you decide that you will write a competitive exam and you reach there and you never made it, instead of cursing the exam, I would say one needs to look inside within so that you are very clear why you have not made it to a particular competitive exam. So what I say is we should know ourselves first, what we are, or what kind of person we are, what actually our dreams and aspirations are. We need to really assess our own emotional reactions. We need to record our experiences and emotions. And we need to actually ensure that, yes, I am made for certain things. This is where I need to reach up to. This is where I have to go up to. This is my ultimate goal in my life. So this is what one needs to actually try to understand about oneself. If you are sure actually what you are wanting to achieve in your life, want to make it a competitive exam. I mean, I always say is that if you want to get into rocket science, you must go and speak to somebody who's actually doing some work in that field. What kind of work that career actually gives, whether there is happiness, whether there is money, whether there is recognition, what exactly does that particular service give? So also if you want to become a professor, what kind of a job profile is that? If you want to become a civil servant, what is the job profile? How many hours you need to really put in? Whether you are willing to sacrifice your personal time for the public cause. So these are the kind of things yet that you must know before you venture to actually reach out to take a particular service in your life. So clear goal setting, that is what I've been talking about. When we actually know ourselves first, when we are very clear, yes, this is the arena, this is the area, this is the place where I need to reach, and this is where I will derive my ultimate satisfaction of actually working in a particular profession or a career. So clear goal setting and also moving towards those goals is the most important thing that I would say to everybody. And one has to be very, very proactive, and one has to be regular. And this is a very important aspect because preparation for civil services takes at least 1 year. 1 year, complete 1 year is needed. If you want to, for example, write the prelims of 2022, that is, which is going to be in May, June 2022, I would say that you must have 1 full year of 2021 starting from January till December to ensure you are through with your prelims and mains entire syllabus thorough. So this is what you have to be very meticulous, in the sense you have a timetable, you have a schedule, and you follow the schedule, and you are very regular about it. And I've always say is, what is the difference between somebody who's made it to the civil services and who has not made it is just being regular. Somebody who's been very regular, who has been continuously and sustained motivation, one who has been sustained in his motivation, will ultimately make it to this kind of civil services. So what? Many a number of times people ask, should I actually study 10 hours, 12 hours, 16 hours? It is nothing to do with how many hours you put in. It is something to do with how much motivated you are and how smart are you actually preparing for an exam of this kind. So I would say 6 to 8 hours is sufficient, and you have sufficient time for entertainment, hanging out with your friends, seeing TV, films, So these are also a very important part of our routine that actually gives sustained motivation. So not only to be self-motivated, we also need to motivate others, our friends. We need to have a small group of friends, like-minded friends, who sit together, share thoughts, share subjects. One is good in a particular subject, the other one is good in another subject. So one reads that particular subject and explains to the others as to how, what the content is, what they have understood. This ensures that you spend less time and more working together. Be critical about yourself at the same time, and you need to praise yourself. So, being a self critic is the best thing to do, and being a motivated guy is actually what is going to see through this particular exam. Communication. This, I say that communication is the most important thing, and communicating, this is what actually enables a person to reach to one's goals. And college is the best time, I would say. You will never get this time again in your life. College time is the best time to actually build one's own communication skills. I keep showing this picture to as many people to say that how this picture of Gandhiji on a TV screen. Mahatma Gandhi, whose contribution to the Indian independence we all know, we all understand. What was the era? When was this struggle for independence happened? There were no regular newspapers. There was hardly any radio. There was no television. There was no social media. Yet a person could communicate to this entire vast Indian subcontinent with his thoughts, with his ideas, ideas for the to make India independent. So, what actually is the power that he possessed? The kind of power he possessed is the ability to communicate despite having fewer media of communication. So, what actually one needs to do is to develop one's own communication in such powerful sense that you are able to reach to the other end. So, make friends. So making friends is the best way to communicate. Move with everybody. Don't form groups, because in colleges, in college life, you might actually be losing good personalities while making a group which is not coherent in nature, or which is actually enabling you to limit to your personality, which limits your personality. So reach out to as many people, communicate with as many people, and that's what actually will make you a better person altogether. Make eye contact with your people, with the people that you meet. Greet your teachers, smile at people, whomever you meet. So communication, this is the most important thing I would say. If somebody is not really great in knowledge and wisdom, but if somebody is really good in communication, you are going to be the winner. Avoid too much of multitasking, because this is mindfulness. This is one of the most important things I would say. Don't do too many things. Don't try to do too many things. Avoid multitasking. Concentrate on one particular issue at a time. Be focused at the task at your hand. Because if you want maximum knowledge to get into your mind, you need to actually have lesser distractions. Multitasking creates many distractions, and college life is all about distractions. So, what is your goal? What actually you want to achieve is, you must be focused. So, that is the most important thing, and that is when you are going to be extremely productive. Think positive. Being positive is the only way to actually move forward. This pic I show of Yuvraj Singh, who, despite going through cancer, after medication, came back, again played for the country. Just think about the level of positivity one needs to have in order to actually reach to that kind of levels. So you need to be very, very positive in life, because there will be many setbacks, there will be many such things which might happen in your life, which might really pull you down. But thinking positive and recollecting good incidents is the only way to move forward. Learn to trust people no matter what. There are all kinds of people in this world, but there are good people as well. See, all these aspects that I'm talking about is all about personality. You might be good in studies, you might not be good in studies, but if you have positive personality, you will definitely make it to the chosen career that you want to. So leadership. So this is where what actually is UPSC looking at? What kind of qualities that a civil servant needs to have? You need to have leadership qualities, and that has to be a long-term positive kind of leadership. That is what actually UPSC is looking at. Whether you are able, whether you are capable of actually being a good leader and take people along. Are you going to be a team man? Are you going to actually lead a district? Are you going to lead? Are you a good leader when it comes to taking people along and actually running a department, running the state altogether? So leadership is what you need to actually ensure that you have a long-term positive kind of leadership in you, and that is what UPSC is looking at, and that is what actually some of the aspects that I mentioned till now are all about. If once you start doing these things, there'll be a positive leadership which will emerge out of you, and that is when you will get noticed and you'll be picked by UPSC. So what is ability? Oh, who's an able person? This question keeps uh, coming time and again, and I always explain in simple terminology, in simple terms, words, is that ability is not about actually having everything. Ability is not about possessing. I mean, you have very good coaching facilities, you have very good transportation facilities, you have everything. Ability is not about having everything. Ability is to actually reach to one's own goals despite not having any of these things. Despite shortcomings, despite minimum resources, how you are actually able um, convert, how you are able to traverse with those resources, and you are able to actually achieve your desired goals is ability, and that's what makes you an able person. Yeah, he's one of my heroes, Nick Vujicic, who, despite not having two legs and two hands, is a hero. He is a leader. He's somebody who's an able person, I would say, that he's been able to communicate, he's able to reach out, he's able to motivate people despite having so many physical inabilities. So we need to actually understand, are we focused? Are we really utilizing our resources? Are we able to actually make good friends? And through our friendship, are we able to together sail through a particular project or situation or an exam? How much are we able to believe in people and move forward? And that is when I would say your ability as a person multiplies to achieve your goals. So, in order to achieve one's own, um, I mean, career's ambition or life's goals, you need to be very, very clear with your goals. You need to have, you need to be very regular. This thing looks very silly being called. Why it's being regular is so important? Because being regular is the only way of moving forward, moving upwards. And I mentioned to you whether in, I mean, if Indore has become the cleanest city in this country, and not once, four times continuously for 4 years, it is all about being regular, doing the same thing again and again, and improving on what you have been doing. And that's how, when you put your plans into action, you actually inch towards your life's goals. So when we talk about leadership, leadership actually needs to it needs to actually it kindles the spiritual fire. The first slide that I mentioned to you of having a physical personality, a professional personality, and then moving upwards or moving deeper inner, you actually try to acquire a spiritual personality. So when you actually show these kind of capabilities, abilities, or leadership qualities, you actually inch towards making it to a service which is actually service oriented. Somebody who's extremely service oriented, actually it will try to awaken your inner spirit, that will actually, you will get that fire in your belly to do things, and you will actually acquire what you want to really make it in your lives. I think that these are some of the points that I actually wanted to mention to you before um, taking up your questions about um, about whatever doubts you have um, about civil services or UPSC, or actually all about leadership. I think Rahul, you can coordinate here.
Yes, sir. So, thank you, sir. And seriously, by inculcating the core human values, as you mentioned, and by being regular and by setting clear goals, definitely we'll be able to, succeed in any chosen profession that we want to. So, now that the presentation has been done, do we have any questions? If you have any questions, you may please raise your hand, or you may write it in the chat box. Yes, Pranjal, you may ask your question. And before Pranjal asks his question, was Pranjal asking question?
Sir, good morning. Sir, you are truly an inspiration, sir, and thank you for blessing us with your time. Sir, my question is that many times in mock interviews, I've seen that there is a question regarding red tapeism in our system, right, sir? And that things don't move as fast as they should. But, sir, in your case, we have seen that you have worked in many departments and you have done excellent work in them in short time with efficiency and very effectiveness. So, sir, how do you manage that and how to manage this question of red tapeism?
See, the
Yes.
point is government service is all full of rules, regulations, and there are ways of doing it. So in government service, it also allows you, government service, there is a lot of space to experiment and there is a lot of scope to experiment. So what I have always been trying to do is to ensure how I take my team along with me. how to take team along with you, so that it is not you actually who is running the show, it is the team which is actually running the show. That has always been my way of doing things. And I would say that if you are having a positive set of mind, and if you want to really make a change, you want to bring something good difference to the society, government is not going to stop you. Governments always encourage you to actually experiment and do positive things. And whatever we do is within the daira of the governmental systems. So, yes, red tapeism is when it comes to actually access to services, there is a lot of red tapeism. But when it comes to doing work, there might be interferences from different areas. When your intentions are good, when you actually want to do something better in the systems, and when you are working in a competitive kind of environment within the governmental systems, government itself encourages to actually do a lot of positive things. So that is where you need to take advantage of the system and achieve some results.
Great, sir. Sir, one more thing, sir. Sir, how can we develop our leadership abilities? Like we talked about leadership. So, what can we do as students that we develop our leadership abilities?
Oh, I think I have mentioned a lot of points in my presentation on developing leadership. The most important thing I would say is there might be many a number of activities, programs happening in your college. Just get onto the stage, just occupy the stage and do whatever you want to do. Dance, drama, elocution, painting. I mean, anything that takes away your stage fear, anything that gives inner confidence to perform. And that is what I would say will actually put you on the front line of leadership.
Right, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pranjal, for asking your question, and thank you, sir, for answering it very patiently. Do we have any more questions? You all may raise your hands, and then certainly I'll be, asking you to unmute yourself and ask your questions. So, do we have any more questions?
Meanwhile, I have shared a document in the chat box about actually how to prepare for civil services exam. So somebody who is wanting to understand the pattern of civil services, who actually don't know what is the pattern for civil services exam, there is an updated document which I have shared in the chat box, and I have sent a copy to Rahul as well on his mail ID. Rahul, you can share that document with everybody in the group or otherwise, so that they can understand the pattern of civil services, what kind of books to read, what kind of material to actually go through. It will be really useful.
Yes, sir, definitely, sir. And in the meanwhile, we have a question from Muskan. So, Muskan, you may unmute yourself and ask your question, please.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, I wanted to ask, sir, as UPSC is not a goal but a journey, so how do we remain consistent, sir? Because there are days when we don't feel like studying, as the syllabus is very vast. So we feel like quitting, कि we should do something else. And we have friends, they are doing something else, जो ज़्यादा easy है इससे. So how do we remain consistent, sir? How do we keep ourselves motivated throughout?
Yeah, so that some of these questions I've actually answered in the presentation. Not spend too many hours on preparation. You need to have a smart preparation. You need to have a timetable, a timeline schedule of preparation. 6 to 8 hours is a good amount of time to actually complete your syllabus and do revision on a daily basis. You must have enough time on your schedule for entertainment, for friends, for family members, watching films, or any of these things. So a sustained motivation is all about doing many a number of things together, and it should seem like actually you are enjoying what you are doing. If you are really enjoying what you are doing, you will have that motivation to do these things. And yeah, remember, we are actually facing one of the most competitive examinations in the world, in this country. So for that purpose, yes, the only way is to put enough amount of time and stay motivated. So what I always mention is you must have a good small group of friends for this purpose, who are mutually preparing for this kind of exam, and that will really help. I will tell you, and that's how I also cleared my exam in that fashion.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, I have question regarding the optional subject. Just the how to choose optional subject. When we think about the how to choose, when we think about choosing optional subject, many things came into mind. That is it a scoring? Is it means is it a score that we can score easily in this subject, and many things that we have read many where like on Google's, and many we have heard interview that this optional subject is easy or that. So how can we choose that?
See, the important thing is when preparing for civil services exam. Number one, choose the scoring subject, and if the scoring subject is good for you, immediately pick it up. So scoring is very important. You need to score as high marks as possible in civil services. So the best thing to do is choose a subject which is high scoring capability. And number two, if you are not able to choose a subject which is of high scoring capability because it doesn't suit you, it is not of your taste, then choose a subject that you have done graduation or post graduation in, because you have already gone through that subject for 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years, or in post graduation for 2 years. So picking up that subject is easy for you. So this is the simple formula that I would suggest.
So, Priyanka, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Thank you, Faya, and good afternoon, sir. Sir, I have two questions, and my first question is, what is your strategy for cracking this examination?
Priyanka, you can put forward your second question as well. Both of the questions, please.
Okay. And sir, we know that we are beginner and we don't know about anything regarding this examination. So where and when we should start preparing, and what materials we should prefer for this?
Yeah, so I've just I have shared a document in this group, how to prepare for civils exam. This is an elaborate document, about 10 pages document, which clearly mentions about prelims, mains, interview, what is the kind of strategy one needs to follow, and what is the pattern of exam, and what is the amount of time one needs to spend. So a lot of these questions are answered in this particular document. So Rahul can share this with all of them. And I mentioned to you, you need to have 1 full year. You take 1 full year for preparation. That is, if you are
And
appearing for May, June 2022 prelims, if you are writing prelims in 2022, so 1 full year of Jan to December 2021.
so my first question means, what was your strategy for preparing this examination? Please, can you share?
See, it's been very long time. I've written this exam in 2000, so it's 20 years that it's been that I've completed having written this exam. But the more than the exam that I want you to do is enhance your personality. That's what I would say, and that's what my lecture has been throughout. And when it comes to strategy, it is a very simple way of doing it. I ensure that before writing the prelims exam, I have completed the entire syllabus of prelims and mains all together. Whatever coaching has to be taken, I have completed, and then I revise the whole thing for prelims from January till May next year. See, that's what I'm saying. If I am going to write my prelims in 2022, I spend entire year from January to December, the entire syllabus this year, not leaving any subject that is going to come for both prelims and mains. And a good coaching where you can actually ensure that you complete the syllabus, you prepare your notes, and then you are ready to go for the exam. So my request is to go through the document that I have sent, and it will give you in detail what books to read, what newspapers to read, what kind of facilities you must access is all mentioned in this document.
Sir, my question to you is, as you shared in your slide, in your presentation, that leadership is a quality which we need to succeed as a human also, and also as an aspirant of UPSC. During our times, like in our age, leadership is often taken as being a bossy nature, or someone who is a command, or is taken as something order we can say. So how should we tackle such kind of behavioral mindset of our colleagues, or our peer group, so that we can show them that we want to take initiative to change something in society or for ourselves only? How to
It's a good
tackle
question. It's a very good question. I appreciate the kind of question that you have asked. See, leadership I mentioned in between is leadership is all about pleasing personality. Leadership is not about bossing or commanding. If somebody thinks that leadership is something of that kind, it is misplaced, and such kind of leadership is not going to sustain for a long time. What is going to sustain is a pleasing leadership, an accommodative leadership, a leadership which enables teamwork is the true leadership. And leadership is never going to challenge anybody. Leadership is always to ensure that everybody comes together. So any kind of leadership which is actually commanding, which is bossing, is going to fall after some time. So try to develop a pleasing personality, an accommodative personality, a personality wherein everybody likes to hang out with you. It is not everybody who's just going to spend time for the sake of it, or just because you are a boss. A good personality is where you feel extremely happy to hang out with, to share your thoughts, to share your feelings. So that is the correct kind of personality.
Thank you,
Thank you
Aniket.
very much, sir.
So, Madhu, I'll be coming to you after Satyam. So, yes, Satyam, you may unmute yourself and ask your question.
Good afternoon, sir. So my question is that I get distracted very easily towards other thoughts within 10 to 15 minutes of studies. So how to avoid that and stay focused and increase my concentration in the studies?
See, it's a good thing. See, in my presentation also I mentioned distractions. See, the kind of age that you're going through, the kind of age one has during the college days and all, there are a number of distractions. So in order to avoid distractions, you need to be focused. And this is where it comes mindfulness. Mindfulness is the ability to concentrate on one thing, doing one thing at a time. So what I request you is try to go for yoga and meditation. Yoga and meditation are the best way to actually acquire concentration power or mindfulness. So I would suggest there are good number of such meditation tools on YouTube and all. You can think about it, and yoga and meditation, these are the best ways. And what I would suggest is whenever you are actually sitting down to read or write, put off your mobile, put off other things, and then just keep 1 hour. Don't do anything more than 1 hour. Think of only 1 hour at a time. After 1 hour, take a break for 5 to 10 minutes, and then go back to your studies or your work. So mindfulness is what you must think of, concentrate on, and think of yoga and meditation. Nothing like that, I would say, nothing like that.
My question is, we often hear this thing: if you are really going to good anything for society, then there are many opposition is waiting for you. And so I want to know ki if there is any political pressure that can stop you from doing anything good. And so if it is, then apart from this leadership, what are things on which we should work as a college student to prepare ourselves in order to face this challenge in future?
See, it's a good question. Again, that a lot of students repetitively ask political pressure and interference. See, we are living in a democratic society and a democratic system. And in democracy, public representatives, elected public representatives, have a lot of powers, lot of, there are a lot of privileges and powers. So one needs to be very clear that in democratic systems, there will be a lot of, political interference, or elected political representatives will come up with their issues. So we need to actually show our personality. That's what I am always, my presentation is all about personality. If you are having a pleasing personality, and if you are able to tell no in a very pleasant way to such a request from a political person, sir, this cannot be done. Sir, this is not, the rules do not agree for such kind of thing to be done. So if you are able to pleasantly and smilingly and in a very positive way explain to the political persons, they also understand. And I have seen in my own 20 years of administrative life, political people are, when they know that you tell certain things with a lot of positivity, and you are not actually telling them for the sake of it, or you are not misguiding them, and when they understand that this person is correct, he always tells right things only, he never misguides, they also appreciate, they also say, okay, अगर ये नहीं हो सकता है तो कोई बात नहीं. So I have seen in my life that initially there will be hiccups. Initially there will be some the personality issues, and everybody is trying to understand you initially, and later on they will come to know, okay, this person is like this. He is straightforward and he is always positive, and if something can be done, he will do it immediately. If something cannot be done, he will explain it back, and that is when they will have confidence in you. So in a system like this, political representatives, public representatives are also good people, I would say. We should not take it otherwise. And it's a system where we should enable that it should function, because our job as administrators is to ensure that the system runs, the system doesn't collapse, the system doesn't, go into negativity. So that is how we should try to work it out. And it works. It is good. It is good to work with public representatives also.
So my question is with respect to financial independence. So can you please discuss about financial independence? Like sometimes while preparing UPSC, we give a second thought. Like अगर मैं इतनी मेहनत कर रहा हूँ, क्या मैं at end of the day इतना पैसे कमा पाऊंगा कि like मैं अपने आप को self sufficient रखूँ? जितनी मेहनत कर रहा हूँ, इतनी worth होगी इसके अंदर वो चीज. Financial independence sir basically.
So किस चीज का फाइनेंशियल इंडिपेंडेंस, यानी कि सर्विस में आने के बाद वाला फाइनेंशियल इंडिपेंडेंस की बात कर रहे हो, किस चीज का?
Yes sir, सर्विस में आने के बाद.
हाँ, तो इसमें बेसिकली शुरुआत में ही मैंने ये बताया था कि जो भी अपने जीवन में जिस सर्विस में जाना चाहते हैं, पहले वो उसमें क्या मिलता है, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ सैलरीज पर्क्स उसमें निहित है, वो समझना होगा. अगर आप सिविल सर्विसेज में आना चाहते हैं तो सिविल सर्विसेज में जो सैलरी स्ट्रक्चर है वो सफिशिएंट है, एक सिंपल जीवन जीने के लिए सफिशिएंट है. तो मेरे हिसाब से हमको इस बात को देखना होगा कि हम किस पर्पस से उस सर्विस में जा रहे हैं. अगर हमें पैसे ही कमाना है, बहुत ही अच्छा जीवन जीना है, तो यहाँ पे पैसे कमाने के लिए नहीं है, यहाँ पे सर्विस के लिए है. सर्विस मेंटालिटी के हिसाब से इसमें आएंगे तो आपको वो संतुष्टि मिलेगी. लेकिन अब 7th पे कमीशन आने के बाद में द गवर्नमेंट सर्वेंट्स earn a very decent kind of salary, I would say.
Okay, I don't see any hand raised now. So thank you, sir, for very, very patiently answering all the questions.